Brazen new power grab by Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Today, Trump moved to formally abolish the USA Agency for International Development, known as USAID. Trump notified the agency's workers that they will either be fired or they'll be transferred to the State Department. It's an escalation of Trump's attack on the decades-old agency that administers foreign aid. This will certainly spark a major legal clash because, by law, Trump cannot single-handedly dissolve an agency that was established by Congress. Earlier this month, a federal judge ruled that Elon Musk's initial attempt to hobble the agency was unconstitutional. Now, Musk has admitted that he made some mistakes in his efforts to dismantle USAID.
We will make mistakes. We won't be perfect. But when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention.
Mistakes were made. This intensifying fight over USAID is just the tip of the iceberg. The administration issued a new executive order directing Vice President J.D. Vance to root out anti-American and divisive content at the Smithsonian. And that's not all. The Washington Post just obtained leaked internal White House documents detailing proposals for cuts across 22 government agencies. If enacted, the cuts would slash half the staff from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The Interior Department could lose a fourth of their workers, and the IRS could cut nearly 1 in 3 of its employees. Amidst all of this, Elon Musk sat down for a friendly Fox interview where he pushed talking points that, unfortunately, are at odds with the facts.
Basically, almost no one's gotten fired. That's what we're saying.
In the process, just for us to be locked out, kicked out, and then cast out.
Legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
Those protesting tell us they are against the Trump administration's moves to close dozens of SSA field offices across the country, along with eliminating over-the-phone ID verifications.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're trying to make it so difficult for people to get their own money back.
What's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing.
So far, there appears to be no evidence of fraud, despite Elon Musk's claims of it.
Joining me now to break all of this down is Michele Norris, senior contributing editor for MSNBC. Michele, help me understand this. USAID was established in 1961 under the auspices of the Kennedy administration, and it was intended to streamline and coordinate the distribution of foreign aid and counteract the spread of communism in the developing world. Why has this particular agency become targeted by the Trump administration? What's going on here?
Melissa, I wish first of all, I'm thrilled to be with you. Thank you for having me tonight. I wish I could help you understand it, but a lot of people here in Washington, D.C. are scratching their head. This was an agency that has not always been popular with Republicans because of some of the places where they have decided to do their work. But I think it's fair to say that many people did not expect it to be gutted in quite this way. Mm-hmm. And Marco Rubio, he understands. He was a member of the Senate for quite a long time. He understands that the executive branch does not have the unilateral power to dismantle this organization. But there's a pattern that you see in almost everything that you ticked through in the introduction, which is just ignoring protocol, ignoring the Constitution, ignoring legal precedent, and just going in and going inside these agencies with the equivalent of a bunker bomb and just blowing them up from within.
You are right. USAID has often been on the receiving end of some Republican ire. But you know who else does not like USAID? Authoritarian government. So are we on the losing end of this? Have we lost the thread a little bit when we're dismantling an agency that has really been effective in helping to advance democracy and dampening down on authoritarianism across the world?
Well, let's just also remind our viewers that this is happening on a day where there is a massive 7, earthquake of magnitude of, above 7 in Myanmar. And there have been at least 150 people killed, and they expect that number to go quite high. to be higher than that. There are also people within the government who are also worried about this because there's a little bit of work that's done within USAID. There's intelligence gathering that's done. It is a goodwill organization. There's a lot of foreign aid that is distributed. So we fight hungry bellies, but we also fight for hearts and minds. And when we do this kind of work, if you talk to people who are working in the agencies that don't talk much about the work they do, like the CIA or the National Security Administration, they will note that they're able to actually use a program like this to do a little bit of diplomacy, quiet diplomacy as well. So there's a lot of head scratching in Washington. Now, Marco Rubio spokespeople have said that some of this work will actually come under the tent of the State Department.
Right.
So who knows how much of it will actually continue. But with many of these agencies that have been placed, I was going to say under the microscope, but really it's under the bludgeon. The question is, why not examine what's wrong and then fix what's wrong? As opposed to going in and moving so quickly to dismantle these agencies, especially since in so many cases, as you saw in the intro, that they have to track back and actually hire people back, or they have to deal with the courts. There's a way to do this which would be much more efficient and much more humane.
Can we pivot to something a little closer to home, certainly closer than Myanmar? There is a new Trump executive order that charges the Vice President J.D. Vance with eliminating, quote, anti-American ideology and anything that he finds to be, quote, improper from the Smithsonian. And of particular note here, the executive order names the Smithsonian Museum of African American History as well as the Planned Museum of Women's History. What's going on here?
Well, with the stroke of a pen, they are deciding what is deemed to be fully American and what is deemed to be anti-American. And they're going to have a fight here. There are a number of people who are very proud of the Smithsonian, very proud of the way the Smithsonian has widened its aperture to tell a fuller story of America. Because the story that we tell ourselves as Americans is important. And it's important that it is a full and complete story and reflects the histories, even the difficult moments in history, but reflects the histories of as many people as possible. Now, the Smithsonian gets about 62%, specifically the National Museum of African American History and Culture gets about 62% of its money from the federal government. The museums are, when he targets the National Museum of African American History and Culture, that is a very successful museum. It opened just a few years ago. More than 197 donors raised $297 million to make sure that they were able to open the doors, and a much, larger number of smaller donors. So when they start to narrow the story that is told, it's bad for America in terms of the history that we tell ourselves. It's bad for the Smithsonian also in terms of the way it opens its doors.